Who do you know that's great? Think about that for a moment. Who do you know, or who do you think of when I say greatness? Somebody that has taken their art, their skill, their craft, and they've moved it from this stage of good to this stage of greatness where not as many people get to. It's amazing to me how many people that I coach, how many people I talk to, they want these results. They want to be great. And you know what? That's a good thing. I appreciate people's efforts. I appreciate people wanting to do more in this world than just exist. Hi and welcome. I'm Coach Burnside. I'm a motivational speaker, a leadership trainer, and a business coach. And the person that I think did a really good job of moving their craft and their skill and their art to this greatness level is somebody that I idolized at a young age, that I grew up dreaming about being, that someday I hoped I could be. And this person was a hick from the French Lick. And maybe you know who it is, maybe you don't. But if you're not, I'm going to give you some results about this hick. This hick was no ordinary hick, if you could imagine. This hick was actually a 12-time NBA All-Star. This hick was a 3-time most valuable player. This hick also won 3 championships. And this hick was inducted to 2 Hall of Fames. And we could keep going on and on about the list of this hick and find his results. And this hick, his name is Larry Bird. See, Larry Bird was definitely one of the people that I idolized growing up because I felt that we had a lot in common. We shared a lot of the same story of our backgrounds, of where we came from, and the struggles that life gave us, and the skills and the talents that we had. And so I idolized him. But what's funny about Larry Bird is if I type in today about Larry Bird, if I type into Google Larry Bird, what pops up? All of his amazing results, those things I just told you about, pop up. What's harder to find about Larry Bird is how he got there. Sure, you can find his story, but what did it take for Larry to master and become great at his craft? See, behind every great result that's out there that we see, there's what I believe to be one thing. And that one thing is disciplined action every day. I'll repeat that. DAED is the acronym for disciplined action every day. See, Larry was great at this. Larry was in the gym every day. Even the days Larry was hurt. If he was on crutches, Larry was still in the gym. That's what it takes to get from good to great. Think about that person you were thinking about. What did they do on a daily basis that made them great? We don't get great by accident. We might be good, but we don't get great. So with this disciplined action every day, I want you to think about that. How often are we disciplined? Sure, from time to time, we're pretty good, right? Like, I think of the, different things out there of people that maybe they have a setback in life. And now I'm more disciplined. I'm going to work more on my spiritual side. Or maybe, my money starts disappearing. So now I'm going to be more disciplined about my finances. And I'm going to have some actions around that. Or actions was what got us in trouble in the first place. I have plenty of relatives that had a lot of actions and no disciplines, and they got in a lot of trouble in some places they shouldn't be, right? The 7th grader that's playing basketball has lots of actions, wastes a lot of energy, just not much discipline. Or you have the one that has so much discipline and no action. So there's a balance there, but also the key to this is doing it often. We have to do it every day. And maybe not every day, but if you want to move to greatness, then every day it takes a lot more days to get there. So this discipline action becomes huge in order for us to move the needle from good to great. So I want you to think about it. What do you want to be? What is it that you want to work on? I want to leave you with an activity right now. That activity is ask yourself one of these 2 questions. And the question is, I want to be great at blank. You fill in the blank. I want to be great at blank. Or you can ask the question, I want to be a great blank. So you might say to yourself, I want to be great at leading others. You might say, I want to be a great leader. Okay, so we're going to use that example of leader and talk about, because the problem is these disciplined actions, we just don't know where to get started. Because it's like, I have so many things to do. To be a leader, there's books out there, the 47 things of this, the 12 of that, the 18 of this, the 6 of those, the 4 keys to this, right? There's a lot that goes on. Which one of these do I start with, Coach Burnside? Well, I'm here to tell you, it doesn't really matter. Start with the one you think's best. You know best where you're at in your situation. So it might be as simple as, hey, I just haven't even read a leadership book yet. I have been thrown into this leadership position and I don't really know how to lead, but I have been thrown in here, so now I have to learn. Well, maybe you start with a podcast. Maybe you start with reading a chapter a day in a leadership book. Maybe you just start with getting to know your people better, and you do that on a daily basis so they know that you sincerely care about them, right? People ask me all the time, what's the number one rule to leadership? Well, there's a lot of rules, but the thing is, just treat others like you want to be treated. Respect them, care for them, listen to them, things like that. Maybe you're going to work on being a better listener today. Instead of being the guy with the answers, maybe you just be a better listener and see if they can come up with their own answers. My point is this. You have to ask one of those two questions. You have to fill in the blank. Let's go back to the questions. I want to be great at leading people. I want to be a great leader. I don't care which question you ask. Decide what you're going to be, and then decide that action that you're going to take every single day to become better at it. I'll give you the weekends off. Maybe you're going to do it 5 days. I'll give you the weekends off. But you get my point. It takes disciplined action every day in order for us to move from this good space to this great space. And we have to be proactive. See, Larry Bird was proactive. So when the moment come, he could make the right reactive move. He had played every scenario in his head. He had shot every game-winning shot before he ever had to take the game-winning shot. He understood the game. He seen it at a level that nobody else did because he was willing to do what nobody else was willing to do. And that was the disciplined action every day. So I'm here to say, if we want to move that needle from good to great, we're going to have to find out what it is that we need to do. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Until we meet again, do it. Go and be great.